Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday. My drumsticks. Get those out of the way. Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday, March 31st. It is currently 7:25 a.m. Happy Easter. He is risen. So we'll be doing weather for Atlanta today. Currently it is 53 degrees with a dew point of 43 degrees. Brings our relative humidity to 69%. Our 7-day forecast will have lows in the lower 80s and our highs in the low 80s and our lows in the lower 60s until about Wednesday, after this cold front moves through, when we have a period of rain and thunderstorms right here, and then our highs will drop into the lower 60s and the lows into the lower 40s. So today it will be cloudy, but it won't be raining, and we'll take a current look at our satellite, and you can see that the subtropical ridging over our area. I know this marker does not contrast well with these lines. We'll just call them lines. They're not, we won't call them contour lines. That's what they are. They don't contrast well, and I apologize for that. But you can see our high cirrus with these brighter clouds moving into the area. And let's take a look at our visible satellite to see if the sun is coming up. So our sun is coming up. Just a few more looks at it. And this trough right here is what we'll be discussing later on in this video, because it will be impacting this portion of the United States specifically, especially the Ohio River Valley area. And we have a difference between the GFS and the NAVGEM and the long term. I like to discuss them both because usually they typically end up in a blend, and it's hard to picture, well, how does this model and this model look when you smush them together? And that's how pretty much this trough has been handled, essentially, in the long term. But in the short term, we'll be taking a look at the NAM. So first, before we take a look at the models, we'll just take a look at what the Storm Prediction Center has. So here's just a 300 millibar map. So here's a surface map. Here's our freezing temperatures up here up north, and then we have our southerly flow over Texas, where the seasons never change. We have slight high pressure over Georgia. So it's going to be a comfortable day. I'd definitely get out and enjoy it before the rain comes. But in terms of thunderstorms, all our thunderstorms will be north of the area. So we have, like I said, it's not going to rain today. There's no storms, but there will be storms to the north. And as we move to our day 2, that's when our risk will advance and it increases. So, and I've said this before, so if you see enhanced on day 2 or day 3, chances are you're going to see this moderate to high risk and an upgrade later on. And that's the case when we move to our day 3. You see this enhanced risk area over the Ohio River Valley area, Kentucky, West Virginia, very South Indiana, and a slight risk right here where Dade County, Walker County, so Dalton, Georgia, Chickamauga, Fort Oglethorpe, yeah, that's about all, but that's around there. So there's not too much up there in northwest Georgia. So let's take a look at the models now. Here's our tornado model. It just shows the risk of tornadoes essentially, and you can see that there's not too much in terms for Georgia. There is, and we're going to zoom in here in a minute, there is for very northwest Georgia, but not Atlanta. Now, these lower green colors, yes, there is a risk, but it's not anything that's going to like destroy a brick building or anything like that. We're going to be fine. It just means that there is a risk of tornadoes. And these models, they can change, so you know, be prepared for that too. But here's our supercell composite, and this just shows our chance of supercell tornadoes. So what's the chance of a really bad storm happening? And as we zoom in here, sector selection. So up here, as I said, Dade County, you get into the oranges, and we'll pull up a forecast sounding for Dade County. So there's not too much instability, so you're not going to have any supercell tornadoes. There's just a lot of veering flow in this air column. So this is up. This is warmer, colder. This is your pressure, so obviously the pressure gets lower as you go up in the atmosphere. But don't worry about too much of this because it's hard to explain to people. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at our model divergence. I'm going to try not to forget about this. So, as you can see right now, it is a season of blocking patterns, and there is currently a sharp amplitude ridge over the Atlantic. And it's what they call a negative MAO, I believe. I'm not a hurricane expert. Over the Atlantic, where the Bermuda High will flatten out. So now you can see it. It doesn't really exist too much right here where it should, because right here is Bermuda. Wait, no, that's Azores. Excuse me. It's called the Bermuda Azores High because technically this high will shift between here and here. So there's Bermuda, there's Azores, there's a high currently with a very zonal, not sharp, dull ridge. Okay. And so how in the long term will these affect it? Well, the GFS says there's going to be a lot of blocking patterns, and the NAVGEM says there won't be. So we'll take a look at the NAVGEM first. Back up here. Let's go to North America so we can zoom out. Actually, those images are old, so we'll be just looking at CONUS. These should be updated. Oh, I see what's going on. The models are updating. Okay, well, I don't think I've ever made a video and the models start updating in the middle of it. Now you get to see the forecast twist in real time. I wonder if the GFS is updating. I doubt it. Hold on, I gotta bring up. $11:35 UTC. Well, I don't know what to say now that the models are updating. So I guess I'm going to produce this video anyway, just for shits and giggles. Let's go to GFS. Are you updating GFS? No, you're not. Wait, you already have updated. Okay, so we'll just go to the GFS now. Let's not focus on the NAVGEM because it's updating. So never mind with that. Just never mind. Okay, so let's go to vorticity at the 500 millibar. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go to sector selection, North America. Okay, so this first, I'm going to teach a little bit how models work. Okay, so this first 0, picture is the current surface or the current analysis. That's called initialization. I hope I said that right. And after that, it produces what it thinks will happen. So you can see this sharp amplitude ridge I mentioned right here. And what this should do, and what it should do, what I hope it does, is it'll move north and it'll cut off, and then this vorticity of this jet stream will move under it like that. So we'll see if that's the case. And yes, it did. And so this front right here, here's another cutoff. So this front that's associated with this low right here will cut off. And what this does in terms of weather, what this means to people is that the weather will be stuck in it's the same thing every day. So if you're stuck under a pattern where it's raining, a blocking pattern means it's going to be raining. It could be raining for a week if it doesn't move. So yeah, the northeastern United States, you're going to see some garbage weather, no doubt, if this is what happens. We'll take another look whenever the NAVGEM gets done updating. But if the NAVGEM is right, then that won't be the case. Oh, there's a nasty risk for thunderstorms right there. Look at that. Very negative tilted trough. So watch out there, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri. What day is that around? April 10th, April 9th, somewhere around there. If that's what happens, but because the NAVGEM, like I said, said something completely different. So, I mean, you got to take these with a grain of salt. And look, it just shows a random cutoff low right there, just milling about. Okay, so I'll end the video with this. We don't really know. We're not the long-term forecast is there's low confidence, but there's fairly high confidence in the short term. So, which I gave the forecast in the beginning. You'll have some rain on Wednesday and Thursday, and after that it'll be much colder. Well, I hope everyone has a blessed day. I'll end it there. Thanks for watching.